Welcome, everybody, to the next episode of 62 Who Knew. Today, joining us for the second time is Mr. Shad Boucher, who is the managing partner of RE/MAX Alliance, Florida's largest RE/MAX franchise. And if I'm not mistaken, top 5 of the country?
Yeah.
It's not on the bio.
Yeah, currently, we'll see how the 2025 numbers come out. I think we're probably going to go up a little bit, but you never know.
All right. I've known you only for a few months, but I've known of your reputation because I'm a mortgage dinosaur for decades. It's really kind of amazing. Shad has a passion for recruiting and developing top-tier agents. He's dedicated to fostering a collaborative growth focused on office culture. Shad blends professional leadership with a personable approach, making RE/MAX Alliance a hub for real estate success. And I've now experienced it with you for about 3 months, being in the office, meeting your people. And let's face it, it's the red and white balloon. It's RE/MAX. I know I'm going to annoy a lot of realtors that give me business as a mortgage person for 40 years, but RE/MAX is it. RE/MAX is what people recognize as the real estate world. And I correct me if I'm wrong, is it 11 or 12 years running now? You've been voted by the public the most trusted real estate company in the world.
It's 11
not
plus
in the country,
years.
In the world.
Correct. Yeah. Number one most trusted brand.
Yeah, and I think that's incredible. I look forward one day, maybe if I get to speak at one of your national conventions as this relationship grows, thanks to you being a national sponsor of 62 Who Knew. I know that the founder is just so focused on a agent-based success philosophy. And in today's 21st century, that really it says something about that man as a human being.
Well, and it says something that he's still involved in the company he started over 54 years ago, that he's still there.
That's amazing.
And he's still, in fact, the big agent convention, R4, is happening at the end of this month. It actually happens the last week of February in Vegas every year. I'm actually going out to the MGM Grand that week because I'm going to attend, obviously, and I'm also speaking. So it's just amazing to actually hear him and hear that the passion hasn't faded and where the brand is going. Amazing. And it's incredible.
And just before we get into our actual show, where do I submit the application to speak at next year's convention?
Well, believe it or not, you cannot submit an application. You have to be chosen.
Well, I'm Jewish. I'm already the chosen one.
There you go.
I said we'll make our flights now.
Well,
I'll reserve the flight.
But I don't think that if you wanted to attend next year, I don't think there's a problem that I probably couldn't get you into the floor at least.
Is there an exhibition?
There is.
Have a booth?
There is an exhibition hall that you could sign up for and do 100%.
Anthony, you come with me, and we will do a 62 Who Knew episode from there, talking to the legend that started RE/MAX,
maybe, and that would be incredible to do. But if you got your mortgage company out there, there's a hall. You could absolutely get and do a show from there.
No pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure. There's only 20,000 people. No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
A little Jewish guilt here, Anthony.
There's usually agents there from usually between 10 and 15 countries, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I'd love to attend and have a booth. Let's get to the show. All right. We're in a weird place. When the last time you came on, we talked about the strength of RE/MAX. We talked about being able to go to www.62whoknew, click on the RE/MAX link, and whether you're buying a home or listing a home, and I thank you personally for this. If you're a 62 Who Knew viewer, anywhere, not just in America, in the 110 plus countries that RE/MAX has a presence in, through 62 Who Knew, you click. You put in your information, and thanks to RE/MAX referral company, you will have the best listing agent, whether in Switzerland, Germany, Boca Raton, Florida, Newark, New Jersey, or if you are looking to buy somewhere, you will have the best buying agent in that area. We're already helping a few people, and I thank you for that. But we talked all sorts about good stuff, and I got my little commercial in. But now we got to talk about some real reality. Rates are down. They're not going to probably be going much further down. That's one man's opinion. And it's a free opinion. You know what they say about free advice. It's worth what you pay for it. But we're in the high fives. And the truth of the matter is, I mean, this is ridiculous, but on February 7th, it'll be 44 years I'm doing this.
Wow.
And we should be prospering. Houses should be selling like popcorn in the movie theater in the high fives. But there's just too many people, consumers, realtors, mortgage people, especially younger generation realtors, mortgage people. Oh my God, rates were 2.5% a few years ago. Yeah, they're so high now. What are we going to do? They're not high. Those COVID rates were as much of a curse to this country as a blessing. What say you about that maybe statement that a lot of people disagree with?
Okay, so let's talk about some of the COVID burn that we're starting to deal with right now. I think you're exactly correct. There's a lot of people that have 2.1% interest rates on their home and they're stuck. Okay. I'm not going to even tell you that I'm not one of them. I have a less than 2% rate on my house right now. I'm not going anywhere. You know, I'm going to die in that house. That's just how that works. But it's kind of amazing. But let's talk about the other side of that burn. Not only do they have really great rates, but the people that are forced to sell right now, and there's a good amount of them for relocations, you know, army deployments, whatever it may be.
Another baby.
Correct.
Yeah, there's all sorts of reasons.
They overpaid for their house. They paid above appraised value.
Yes.
And that burn is starting to hit quite heavily. You know, you've done this for 44 years. I've done this for 26, you know, obviously half.
You're a kid.
But anyway, you know, you and I both remember in the 2000s seeing people have to bring money to closing. You know,
That's right.
In those times after the downturn, after the crash. I'm seeing it again. I'm seeing tens of thousands of dollars having to be brought to closing. It's really kind of insane. Now, the good news is, though, that we're starting to see a lot of people who have bought in the time when the rates jumped starting to sell. So they're starting to move off their first house. So the majority of the rates that are out there, it is high still in the 2s to 3%, but we're starting to see a lot of people who do have 7s and high 6s starting to move around.
Yes.
Which is good.
Yes.
The other good news is right now, the builders are hurting. A lot of them are, you know, feeling the burn. So they're giving interest rates in the 4s. An admin at my one office has been a renter for 4 years now. She just recently went out and bought a house over the weekend, and she's getting a 3.75 rate because the builder literally bought the rate down. And now it's bad, but she's 61. She's not going anywhere. So
that's right.
I'll take it. But the builders are artificially lowering the rates pretty heavily right now.
And people have to realize, I do a lot of builder business over my 4 decades. I love my builders. But you have to realize, let's just take that 3 3/4 rate with rates being in the high 5s right now. And I don't want to get personal with your administrator, but let's say it's a $400,000 house, 500, 300, whatever. That buy down is $25,000, $30,000. Do they really think, does anybody really think the builder is paying that? It's added to the price of your home. So yes, you're paying it. And I'm not against this. It gets you a lower payment. It takes that money and divides it into 30 years. But, you know, the builder's not coming out of pocket to buy that rate down. No. You know, they may be on the closing statement. Right. But it's added into the
100%. And that's very, very true right now. But we're starting to see, you know, the people are moving around. I can tell you right now from our business picked up drastically in December and has been getting momentum.
Yes, me too.
You know, our one office in Trinity clocked 21 contracts this past week.
Wow.
You know, we're starting to see a lot of things starting to shift and move. And I think, you know, like you said at the beginning of this, one man's opinion, if the rates get anywhere near 5.4, 5.5, it's Katie bar the door because there's so much pent up demand. And
Yes.
I think a lot of people have heartburn coming off a 3.75 rate going up to a 7.75 rate.
Yes.
But a 5.4, I think they can stomach.
Palatable, very palatable.
Especially in a market right now where the sellers are willing to contribute towards closing cost concessions that could be used to buy that rate down slightly.
Exactly.
So now the problem with that is that's a blip in the radar. Okay. We're going to have, as soon as the rates hit 5.5%, most people are going to have 6 months, maybe less, to jump into the market and get a house before the prices of the listings start to soar again. And that's exactly what's going to happen. It's really funny. Everybody talks, buyer's market, seller's market, whatever it is. We don't have any market right now. We have
That's so true.
Inventory that says seller's market, but we don't have the buying populace for it to be a seller's market.
That's right.
So it's a very weird market right now, but it's a great market if you're looking to get in. It's an incredible market if you're looking to get in. If you've waited to buy your first home, now's the time.
Whether you're purchasing a new home or refinancing the one you love, one thing has never changed. Mortgages remain the most inexpensive cost of funds available. And in today's market, choosing the right mortgage professional can save you thousands and help secure your financial future. That's why the 62 Who Knew podcast partners with American Pacific Mortgage, one of the nation's most respected lenders, helping homeowners make smart decisions at every stage of life. Visit 62whoknew.com to learn how the right mortgage strategy can power your retirement plan. For millions of Americans, the greatest asset they own is their home. Yet most of that equity sits locked away, unused. What if there was a way to unlock your home's value without debt, without interest, and without monthly payments? Introducing Chiefs, converting home equity into financial success. A revolutionary strategy that lets you turn a small piece of your home's equity into cash you can use today to protect your retirement tomorrow. Visit 62whoknew.com to learn how Chiefs can fund long-term care, annuities, life insurance, or lifestyle goals. We try and do our best on this show, and I think we've done a good job, to not sell, to educate.
Right.
Now, of course, we have the website. Please go to RE/MAX. When we have, Tom Hegna, the #1 speaker of annuities in North America, you can go to our website and click on annuities. And we want to help. We want to give people practical advice because that's what most podcasts do. But they don't give the solution. We're trying to have 62 Who Knew be that solution. Now, am I an annuity expert? No, I'm not. But I know enough to ask good questions to Tom Hegna. Am I a real estate expert? No. 46 years mortgage experience allows me to ask the right questions to Shad. Right. And it's the same thing for life insurance, long-term care insurance. I'm very proud of our website, and we're helping hundreds of people. But today's going to be a little different because I am going to sell a little because I am a 44-year-old mortgage banker. And there is a schism in this country that has a lot to do with, I've never heard it called the burn, but I like that, the COVID burn. And I accidentally discovered it a couple of weeks ago. I had a great young couple purchasing a $260,000 manufactured home and 4 children, 2 from the first marriage, 2 from the present marriage. Just wonderful people, 700 plus credit score. But with 4 children, they just couldn't save up the down payment. And I went, okay, I'm a professional mortgage banker. And the company I work with, which is one of our national sponsors, American Pacific Mortgage, they're wonderful. They're the 9th largest independent mortgage company in the country. We have 3 dozen down payment assistance programs. Don't worry. I mean, I like them. I met them at a Dunkin' Donuts in Zephyr Hills. I like them. And we're going to get your 4 kids a nice place to live. I take their application, or I should say they take their application online. I'm a dinosaur. I'm still taking applications in my mind. And they make really good money. I don't want to get too private. Really good money. More than almost every down payment assistance program will allow, because almost every down payment assistance program in the country has an income ceiling. Sometimes it's the county or state medium income. Sometimes it's 120% of that, but it's a limit. And even at 120, I think there might be one at 140%. It limits an income to about 120 grand. Now that sounds like a lot, but with the prices of homes in Florida, Texas, it's just not. So I had to say to them, I can't believe I met you. 2 of your 4 children were there. I said, don't worry, I'll give you a down payment assistance program. And now I can't, but I spoke to my regional director, a great man that's been on this show twice, and Mr. John Russo. I said, just before I let this young couple go, it's breaking my heart. But they make more money than every down payment assistance program that I've ever heard of. He went, Michael, AP Mortgage has a down payment assistance program with no income limit. I mean, John, I'm doing this 44 years. I've never heard of a down payment assistance program with no income limit. He said, we have it, and it's great. So yes, I did the loan, and I closed it. Happy ending. But then I started thinking, all the people I've talked to that have that 2.1, 2.5, 3% mortgage on their present house, maybe they can stomach that new payment, but their down payment is coming from their present house. So why not keep that house? You have such a low payment on it, okay? Turn it into a rental, and I'll give you a down payment on your next house because there's no income limit. That's number one. Number two, we have this schism, and I know I've spoke to enough of many agents, but yours included, people looking for a house, and they want a house in the $500,000 neighborhood, which is not even a mini mansion anymore. I mean, 5 years ago, that was a McMansion. Now it's a decent house. They're married. They have 2.3 children. They have 2 car payments, one decent, one way too high. The 2.3 children are in Little League, dance, ballet. They make serious money, but they can't save that $30,000 down payment.
Makes sense.
Let alone closing costs. I mean, but they have a great credit score, and they're paying $3,000 a month rent. We can now say to those people making 150, 180 grand a year, we'll give you your 3.5% down. This is an FHA loan. FHA's loan limit is $542,000.
Now it is, yeah.
I forget what it was, but in 1982, when I went into business, I think the FHA loan limit was 59 grand. I'm going to look that up.
Yeah.
Okay. 500, that's the loan limit, 542. If we're giving them 3.5%, they can buy a house for almost $560,000, and we'll give them the 3.5% down. And you just said sellers are in the mood to help a little with closing costs. I wrote more mortgages last week using this accidental theory than I have in 5 years in 1 week.
Well, this is, I mean,
what's wrong with what I'm saying?
The number one word right now in the housing market is affordability. That's the number one word. Everybody and their brother would buy a house if they can afford it. And like you said, it's not affording the payment. It's affording the closing cost. It's affording the down payment. It's affording all the other ancillaries to getting the house. The payment is not that bad because they're paying, like you said, $3,000 a month for rent. I mean, let's be dead honest with you. My wife and I joke all the time that if we had to lose our house tomorrow and then go rent an apartment, we wouldn't be able to afford it because we've been in our home for almost 17 years, and our mortgage is a third of what rent is right now. And we are the the 2.3 children and the whole 9 yards. One in college, one in high school. So, yeah, this is. Well, and I'm gonna tell you something right now, and no shade on your mortgage company. They should be singing this from the rooftops of the highest points of the land. Like, why?
Yeah, that's what.
They should have commercials on the radio running for this thing every 13 seconds.
Yeah, the more I think about this, Shad, down payment assistance with no income limit This is a market disruptor.
It's a massive market disruptor. Now, what we were talking about before, you said it's a second mortgage. It's not forgiven.
Yeah, we don't forgive it. I'm sorry. You're going to have a first of 96.5% and a second of 3.5%. Well, you're buying a house for no money down.
Right.
Stop complaining.
Right. That's exactly it.
All right. Now let's go to another step, which I think is incredible. Because again, when you're a dinosaur mortgage person like me, you love your realtors. I mean, there's a lot of young generation people out there that are doing their social networking, and I do that a lot, as you know, but I love my realtor relationships. That's what put my children through college and gave me a good life. Realtors. Let's talk about realtors that have a listing of less than $560,000. I'm going to be doing some events soon where I'm going to say to those realtors, you need to put a sign rider on the bottom of that yard sign that says, and these are available at every realtor association, down payment assistance program available. Number one, when people are driving down the block and they see Prudential and Merrill Lynch and Century 21 and Caldwell Banker and Keller Williams and, of course, the famous red, white RE/MAX sign, I guarantee you it's going to be the only sign in the neighborhood that says down payment assistance. Let me do one more thing. I want them to go into their MLS listing and put that in the description. Well, we did that. And their phones are ringing off the hook. I think a lot of realtors, and you tell me if I'm wrong or not, have forgotten the purpose of the yard sign and the listing. It's not to sell that house. It's to sell 5 more. Well, and I really do think there's a generation of real estate agents that have forgotten that.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. There's a general. Well, here's the interesting stat for you right now. The majority of agents, at least in Florida, the majority of agents that are currently practicing have been practicing since 2019.
Okay.
So
7
you
years.
have an entire generation of agents that don't have any idea what the business was prior to COVID.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, 100%. 100% it is. And but here's the other thing too is I think, when things started getting really slow, let's be honest, 7% rates really put a halt on the market and everything else. A lot of agents leaned into taking listings with assumable mortgages. Now, very few mortgages that aren't VA are assumable, but there are a few. But to me, that was a piece of false advertising because most people don't understand that to assume that mortgage, if the mortgage on the house is 190, or let's just call it 200 for math's sake, and the house is worth 433, the person has to come to the table with another $233,000 to assume the loan.
Yes.
And who has that? So, like you said,
right.
It was just a way to get the phone to ring. And even though it was, in my mind, a bait and switch because there was nobody. Now, if somebody moved into that house in 2022 and you're selling it in 2023, an assumable mortgage makes sense because they're going to come to the table with 10 grand, 15 grand.
That's right.
But a lot of realtors glommed onto this because it was a way to get their phone to ring. This is a way to get the phone to ring that actually has promise and works. I think the other thing that I would say for me, if you're missing that, by the way, those sign riders you plan on doing, they should have your phone number on the bottom of them.
Oh, yeah, my phone number. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and let me tell you why. Because I don't want, one thing that I have to say, everything's a double-edged sword. That's the whole theme of 62, who knew? Right. Longer lifespans, a double-edged sword. This has a double-edged sword, too. People driving down the block, people looking in Zillow at the, and because this will be in your Zillow listing, this will be everywhere. Down payment assistance available. They're going to go, hey, I have no money. That's for me. So there's going to be more flaky phone calls as well. And I like your idea of having my number, not just because I want the business, but I don't want my real estate partners to have to weed through the people that have the 550 credit score and don't qualify. I can do that in 30 seconds, and so can one of my assistants. Right. So it's going to make the phone ring more, and I'm going to guess, based on my experiment of the last month, about 50% of the calls won't qualify.
Sure.
Yeah. But, and quite frankly, these new real estate agents, they'll get fed up quick. I spoke to this person. Let your mortgage partner weed them out. I'm calling my realtor partners at least the 3 that I did the experiment with, and going, okay, I spoke to the Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a couple hours ago. They're already DU. They're approved for $497,000. Can you find them a house this weekend?
Right.
So I can't wait to spread this from the rooftops.
And let's be honest, you're better qualified to handle those people because you can say, okay, you don't qualify today, but we're going to get you in credit repair. We're going to get you here and we're going to pipeline you. So, and then you're going to return them back to that agent. So it's a win-win for all parties with this whole thing. And, and as we talked before, you were telling me how many down payment assistance programs you actually have, with your mortgage company right now. And I've coined you the king of down payment assistance. But I think right now with the main word of the housing market being affordability, any mortgage broker that isn't trying to unseat the king of DPA needs to, because that's what's going to turn the wheels 1,000%.
Right. Well, and what's so crazy about this, one of my mortgages, and just wonderful, wonderful people, they're buying a 515 house. That's the purchase price. Husband and wife together. I know I'm not breaking any privacy laws because you have no idea of knowing who this is. Their combined income is over $200,000. Yeah. They have serious money in their 401ks and IRAs, serious money. And we're giving them the 3.5% down. This is a market disturber. This is something that a down payment assistance program with no income limit.
Well, but let's be honest. I was always taught years ago, and I'm sure you were taught the same thing. If you can use other people's money, you do it.
Other people's money.
Look,
baby.
who goes into a furniture store and buys furniture for cash? Suckers. I go buy it with 0% interest. I can pay it off when I want to, but my cash stays where it needs to in my investments where it's making me money. If this, if I can invest and get this, and why wouldn't I? Doesn't matter what I make. As long as I'm not breaking the rules.
No, you are not. Yeah. And what's amazing is because it's an FHA loan and not a lot of sellers would be doing this, but just to know this, the seller can pay up to 6% closing costs on an FHA loan. So let's say there is that seller that's going to very gladly pay 2 or 3%. Oh, we love it, Mike. We're going to help the client. And let's just say the client doesn't qualify. You brought this up earlier, at 5 3/4. We have to buy it down to 5.5 to lower the payment to get the client to qualify. I think that seller's going to go, yeah, I'll pay the extra percent.
Right.
Mike, I said 3%. Let me do 4% to get the closing, to sell the house. To me, this is, like I said, it's a schism. And it all came as an accident for 2 people buying a $260,000 manufactured home. And this mortgage company has had this program for 3 years. So I may be the king of DPA, but I'm not the king of research, I guess. Because I didn't know.
I wouldn't, let's be honest, I wouldn't have thought there was anything with a no upper limit on down payment assistance. I mean, that's insane. But if it exists, I don't care.
As we live longer than any generation before us, one question becomes more important than ever. Will your income last as long as you do? On the 62 Who Knew podcast, we dive deep into the strategies that protect your future. And at the center of every strong retirement plan is guaranteed income. Annuities create income you cannot outlive. They provide stability, protection, and peace of mind, no matter what the market does. Visit 62whoknew.com and start planning the rest of your life today. Life is full of moments worth protecting, and the greatest legacy we leave behind is peace of mind for the people we love. On the 62 Who Knew podcast, we explore the tools that safeguard your family's future, and life insurance is at the heart of every smart retirement plan. Life insurance isn't just about the end. It's about giving your family security, covering final expenses, and ensuring your legacy lives on. Visit 62whoknew.com to watch the latest episode and start building a retirement plan that your family can count on. The famous DSCR loan, the debt service coverage ratio loan, the only true 80% no income verification investment loan. This is not selling because it's not just our mortgage company. All mortgage companies do this. We don't even ask the client if they have a job.
Right.
The part that has employment on the application is blank. 20% down, good credit, 30-day seasoning. There are some other nuances to the loan. A true no income verification investment loan. There are so many great products out there for people. We should be booming. The country should be flourishing, but it's still hesitating.
Well,
It's
I
still
think
holding
I
back.
think to your point though, I think it's education. If they don't know it, I mean, you didn't know it existed. I didn't know it existed. So if we're on the front lines telling people, I mean, if you think about it right now, I don't want to scare you, but how many people did you turn down last year that this could have worked for? How many people did my
That's right.
agents, turn down last year that this could have worked for? And
Mm-hmm.
there's amazing stuff going on in home ownership right now, and that's a big thing. Let's bring it back to 62 who knew. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people downsizing, that need to come off of
Yes.
homes right now, and who's going to come buy them? Who's going to buy them? And so this actually
right.
helps them too, because it gets them out of their house and into something new, into that next chapter of their life. And it allows the younger
Right.
people to come and buy the property. So I think it's a win all the way
You
around.
just said something that gave me a different idea also, that imagine saying to a seller, because most sellers, I mean, the great majority of sellers, they need the money from their exiting house for their new house. Imagine saying to someone in their who's 15 years away from retiring, why don't you take the profit from the house that you're selling and put it into a Roth IRA
Right.
and save it?
Right.
Well, how am I going to buy another house? Are you buying a house below $560,000? Well, yes, we'll give you the down payment. There'll be capital gains.
Sure.
There'll be tax ramifications. I don't want to go into that. We'll bring a CPA on to talk about that. But this brings on a whole new way of looking at what you can do with the money from the exiting home of your house.
Correct.
So anyway, no matter what happens in the country this year, we're going to make it a good year. That's it. People are buying houses.
Which is again what the problem that most people don't realize, because it's kind of like in the secret, in the shadows, is home purchases, home sales, buying is the engine of this country. It's the engine of the economy. Okay.
Absolutely.
Without somebody owning a home, then they don't employ the landscaper. They don't employ people to do work, which means sales at Home Depot goes down. All these things are so interconnected.
Everything.
So interconnected to the housing market. And you get the housing market. I mean, I'm waiting for right now, we don't want to go into it today, but I'm waiting to see what happens with the no more property tax in the state of Florida. That's another thing that's going to absolutely flood the market if that happens. But yeah, if we can get this to work and we can provide home, but let's talk about this in another light. Teachers don't make enough right now to buy a house. Most of them don't, because they, again, like you said, can't save up the down payment. Police officers, first responders. I mean, this loan that you told me about today is just an amazing thing to help so many people.
It's a life change. It's a market disruptor. I've never used the words market disruptor in the mortgage world.
Right.
I've used it in other worlds.
Right.
Not in the mortgage world. Yes, you just said something also that always frustrates me. Not what you said. There's a lot of people out there, when I say a lot, probably millions, that don't realize, people always talk about the American dream. We never get political on the show for many reasons, but this country is the best country. It's got its issues, but it's the best country in the history of history. Okay, no matter what. And people come here for the American dream. And I'm amazed how many people, I'd say, below the age of 40, that don't realize the American dream is homeownership.
Correct.
Google it. To all my young people out there, Chat GPT, do anything you want. The definition of the American dream, even though, yes, you can get rich here, you can be self-employed, you can be a sports star. That's all part of the American dream. But the American dream is home ownership. People have forgotten
the
that.
Number one financial asset that most people own is their home. It allows them to retire. It allows them to put their kids through college. It allows them to do so many things. And if you think about it, you put $12,000 into the stock market and you get a 10% return, right? That's great. You put $12,000
Yeah.
into the housing market and look what the return is.
That's right.
It's ridiculous. It's not even close.
That's right. Never had, and that's counting all the bad
Correct.
years. It's still not even close when you average it out.
It isn't. So
Who was it? I think, who was it? Was it W.C. Fields or was it? I don't remember. Somebody old said, buy land. They're not making any more of it. I got to look that up.
1,000%. No, you're exactly correct.
Yeah.
There's been more millionaires and billionaires made by real estate than anything else. I mean,
No.
and whether it's the land, whether it's the minerals under the land, whether it's, yeah. So yeah, it's one of those things. And if we can help more people get there and get there to where they can afford the payment and, their rent's never going to go up. This is, you're paying 30 years. Here's what your payment's going to be. Yes, there's small fluctuations due to property taxes going up and insurance going up, but not major ones. And you're going to know what they are. And now you've got stability, and now you can potentially borrow against that home when it's time to send the kids to college. And,
Oh my!
I mean,
that's right.
There's so much.
And the emotional, that's your home. You can't replace memories. You can't. And then you just brought up something else that just keeps spiraling in my mind. I am one of those people that thinks we will see rates in the 4s again. I don't think we'll ever see 2s and 3s. And I don't think the 4s is in the near future.
Okay.
But I do think it is possible for the mid to high 4s in the next several years. And for all these people, again, today, that are getting mortgages in the high 5s and low 6s, and they're going to have maybe a second mortgage because we're going to give the masses. And I'm going to be honest, why wouldn't I be? The second mortgage is a little teeny higher rate than the first.
Sure.
That's life. When rates come down, we'll refinance you, combine the 2 mortgages, and lower your payment. This is win-win. It is really amazing to me when people think, even a year and a half ago, what's my rate? 7 3/4. Oh my God, what am I going to do? I go, it's a 30-year mortgage.
Yeah.
But it's not a 30-year jail sentence. No. When rates come down, and you don't have to have a master's degree in economics to know this, you don't know when, but every 7 years in America since World War II, that's 1945, by the way, for the young children, every 80 years, every 7 years for the last 80, we see the highest interest rates in that 7-year cycle and the lowest interest rates. So again, people, all of you, don't worry about what the rate is today. Own your home. Be comfortable with your payment. Build your memories. And when rates come down, you'll refinance.
Well, and
I know it sounds like, well, he's a mortgage guy. That's his answer. But it is the answer.
But let's talk about that delta too. You just said, the rates are going to come down, and statistically, you're going to make more money over your lifetime too. So
that's right.
I mean, it's the time to get in the market is when you can afford it at the time. That's it.
That's right. There is no, it's when you can afford it. It's like people, I always see young people, and God, everybody's young compared to me lately, Shad. I don't know what
I'm so sorry.
Here. But that's okay. This whole old age thing, I'm not dealing with it well. But, we're waiting to have children. Do you want to have children? Oh, yeah, we really want to have children. What are you waiting for? Till we can afford it. That day never comes.
Nope.
Have the child. Yeah. Have children. You never can afford it. Take it from an old guy. Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah. So, well, as always, thank you so much for coming on. I hope we can spread this to your hundreds of agents and to thousands and thousands of potential homeowners. And hey, this is what 62 Who News About is. I hope to have people have a higher quality of life. Thank you so much for being here, my friend.
Appreciate it always.